And now we turn to a very interesting talk with a Notre Dame alum who's been making headlines for some time, but specifically a year ago with his colon cancer diagnosis and his battle with it. Today he is doing back what he loves again, and that is playing baseball for the Baltimore Orioles. Trey Mancini, welcome to Notre Dame Day.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Trey, it's great to talk to you. Looking back at these last 12 months, I have a question for you. What was your worst day, and what do you remember about that day? And conversely, what was your best day, and what made that your best day?
Obviously getting diagnosed was extremely difficult, but I'd almost say that the day that I found out that I had to do chemotherapy, it was my 28th birthday. I had surgery 6 days before, and I found out that 3 of my lymph nodes tested positive for cancer. They were right up next to the tumor, and that I'd have to do chemotherapy. So that was really tough. After you have surgery, you think there's a good chance that you won't have to do chemo when it's over. So doing 6 months of chemo was really tough. But the day I finished and got my port taken out of my chest was amazing. It was the end of a long journey, and a day that I wasn't always sure would come, and it was a great day.
Yeah, it could really strike anyone. Colon cancer is the third most diagnosed cancer in the United States. What have you learned about this disease specifically, and what advice would you give to everyone watching today?
Before I was diagnosed, I thought it was mostly the older population that was affected by it. I was thinking, by the time I was 45, 50, I'd go in for a colonoscopy. I never expected at 27 at the time when I was diagnosed to be diagnosed with colon cancer. So I found out after the fact that it does affect young people at a much higher rate than the population believes.
So let's talk about a little bit of baseball. Of course, you're on the road back. In fact, you could say you are back. When you were able to get into spring training again with the Orioles, was there that moment when you thought to yourself, all right, I'm back?
Oh, definitely. I think my first game back, I got a standing ovation. I wasn't exactly expecting it, but it was amazing. It was such a cool moment. Things really came full circle because I was in Sarasota the year before when I got diagnosed. So it was really neat to be back there a year later playing in a game after I had heard the worst news of my life. To be back, kind of where I had left off a year before was amazing, and something that I still don't take for granted.
Yeah, I imagine you weren't anticipating necessarily that kind of reaction. So what do you think has been the most difficult aspect for the game to you to get back up to speed when you're on the diamond itself?
Yeah, I mean, not playing in a game for a year and a half, you come back, the speed of the game, it's fast, man. It's nothing that you can really prepare for when you have all that time off. You're not thinking about baseball too much when you're going through chemotherapy and a cancer diagnosis and everything. So you come back and think you're going to start right where you left off, and the game goes quickly, and you have to get used to that. And I feel like, especially the last few days, I've made a lot of strides at the plate and in the field, but the speed of the game is quick. Major League Baseball is not easy. And, after you take that much time off, you really realize that.
Yeah, it is not easy as a person who was a wannabe player back in the day. I'll ask you about that in a second. But before you were, in essence, shut down for a short time with cancer, you had 35 home runs. You had 97 RBIs, one of the best seasons ever for a former Notre Dame baseball player in the major leagues. You've had just a past couple of days, another 3 or 4 home runs. Are you feeling a little more comfortable now at the plate that you're putting some of those other health issues behind us? And let me ask that question now. Just how hard is it to hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball?
Yeah, I feel like, I've been feeling much better. But no, from the health standpoint, it does always stay with you because you have to get checked up every 3 months. That's the reality of it. But at the same time, you do try to move on and realize that there's a very good chance that, you won't have to go through it again. And my main goal has been to move on with my life and put that chapter behind me. So it is tough at points because you do have to get checked up. But yeah, I feel like I've been doing a good job of moving forward, and yeah, hitting 100-mile-an-hour fastball is not fun, especially when it's coming from Aroldis Chapman on the Yankees, somebody like that. It's not easy.
No, it is not easy. 75-mile-an-hour fastball for some of us is not easy. Trey, thanks so much for being with us. We are so proud of you, and I know I speak for the entire Notre Dame family when I say we are all rooting hard for you, not only on the field, but of course off the field as well. Thanks for joining us on Notre Dame Day.
All right, thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.